With the emerging Diddy accusations saying that Hollywood is run by Matthew McConaughey came out and said there is an initiation process in order to rise up in the ranks of Hollywood.
But I have had moments where I was on stage receiving an award in front of my peers in Hollywood. And there were people in the crowd that I have prayed with before dinners many times. And when I thank God, I saw some of those people go to clap, but then notice that, whoa, it's gonna be a bad thing on my resume, and then sit back on their hands.
David Geffen reached out to me to be in Dreamgirls. And yeah, man, it just didn't happen. And I think everybody hit me about this joint too. I had Eddie Murphy hit me, man, Brandy hit me.
There's never there's always a reason. You don't get in your car and just sit there, you go to the grocery store.
Hollywood is often described as a land of dreams, but behind the lights and cameras lies another story that very few dare to talk about. It is a world that builds stars just as quickly as it can bury them. Fame in Hollywood can look permanent, but in reality, it is often fragile and conditional. One wrong move, one refusal to play along, and even the biggest names can suddenly find themselves ignored by the very system that once celebrated them. The word blacklist might sound like something from another era, but in the entertainment industry, it is still quietly at work. Many stars have suggested that Hollywood has its own way of making people vanish from the spotlight without ever explaining why. And one actor who has spoken about this, not only through hints, but through his own lived experience, is Matthew McConaughey. His journey, filled with both triumphs and setbacks, gives us a window into how this hidden process works. What McConaughey revealed also connects to other stars who face the same invisible wall, from comedians like Katt Williams to legends like Eddie Murphy. Matthew McConaughey has lived through the highs and lows of Hollywood in ways most fans never knew. In the early 2000s, he became the king of romantic comedies. He was charming, bankable, and seemed unstoppable. Films like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days and Failure to Launch made him a household name. But behind that success, McConaughey began to feel trapped. He wanted to explore deeper, more complex roles, but the offers he kept receiving were all the same lighthearted scripts.
Actor Matthew McConaughey says there's an initiation process in Hollywood, discusses saying perhaps there's actually a way that you need to behave and things you might need to do in order to move forward. In an exclusive interview with People magazine, Oscar-winning actor Matthew McConaughey shared that there is an initiation process in Hollywood. Many of us have become familiar with images like this: Harvey Weinstein, Oprah Winfrey, and the scared faces of young women and men who continually move around saying, hey, maybe we were forced to do things in order to get our roles. Now, the star of Lincoln Lawyer shared with People magazine directly that he has had his highs and lows as an actor, but essentially had to find out the hard way how Hollywood operates. And what did he mean by the hard way? Well, I think we know. McConaughey stated, overall, I believe there's been inherent goodwill for me, but it did not keep me from figuring out my own initiation into the industry. He goes on to say directly that there's a lot of things you learn after years of being in Hollywood, and you go, well, why didn't they tell me that in year 2? Because there's an initiation process, added McConaughey. Now, this comes in light of the, obviously we've had the Epstein allegations, manipulating Hollywood actors and politicians. We had, the whole Me Too movement showing a lot of that stuff. And then people are bringing up what's going on with Diddy. There's a video, obviously, people talk about Diddy in the game partying with Justin Bieber, saying he's a bad boy. Has people wondering if being assaulted is what the word is code for. I'm not entirely sure, but watch this clip.
The bad boy. Oh, he's bad boy now. He's a right kind of alert. It's called He's Bad Boy Now. Bad boy.
Now, Bieber did open up about, the potential that he had been, molested as a child. People say he was sodomized. These are all allegations, and I don't like to get into those, but there is a bombshell investigation on Diddy directly talking about this trafficking operation where people were sort of taken advantage of and put in a position to give favors or to be just completely raped in order to get ahead in Hollywood. Now, I don't know what's true and what's not because we'll have to wait for the court hearings to occur. But the thing is, this is common, and I think that's what Matthew McConaughey is opening up about. Now, the craziest thing is that people don't understand how serious Hollywood and how corrupted it really is. We're not talking about mistakes people make. We're not just talking about, we're talking about like people and raping people, violent. It's pretty insane stuff, but it's very commonplace. I'm from Los Angeles, and the kind of things that people have, asked me if I wanted to do or to get into the industry, or things that I'd be willing to do, I got to say, yeah, I'm not down with that. So I didn't get involved in it. And I never even got up into Hollywood. So I don't know what Matthew McConaughey went through, but I can't imagine it's anything amazing.
When he finally decided to turn down those roles, the offers did not just slow down. They stopped altogether. McConaughey has spoken openly about this time, describing how it felt like an invisible hand had locked him out. The industry that once called him daily suddenly went silent. For nearly 2 years, he sat waiting with no work in sight. To him, it was not coincidence. It was a quiet form of punishment for refusing to keep playing the role Hollywood had chosen for him. Yet his patience paid off when directors later rediscovered his talent through films like Mud and Dallas Buyers Club. This period, which he calls his career pause, is the clearest example of how Hollywood can apply pressure. By starving an actor of opportunities, it sends a message: stay in your lane or disappear. McConaughey survived, but many others have not been so lucky. What happened to McConaughey is not just a personal story. It is part of a much larger pattern that has been repeated with countless stars. Hollywood is a place where silence and obedience are often rewarded, while independence and honesty can lead to punishment. This is why so many celebrities have echoed similar stories.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
Take Tippi Hedren, the star of Alfred Hitchcock's classic The Birds. She revealed years later that Hitchcock tried to control her both professionally and personally. And when she refused his advances, her career opportunities vanished almost overnight. Brendan Fraser, beloved for his work in The Mummy and George of the Jungle, explained that after he spoke up about misconduct, he experienced Hollywood doors closed for him for over a decade. Monique, an Academy Award-winning actress, shared how she was sidelined after refusing to play along with certain demands, despite her undeniable talent. Each of these cases points to the same truth. When stars choose integrity over compliance, the industry has ways of pushing them aside. McConaughey's story is one piece of this puzzle, but it matches the broader map of how blacklisting has quietly shaped careers for decades.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see.
Oh yes, he's glittering.
It truly is about the Benjamin.
Well, now when we come back, we're going to talk more with Puffy, and if you want to hang out, more than welcome to stick around, my brother. All right, we'll be right back with more right after this.
In recent months, Eddie Murphy's name was pulled into this discussion through a viral rumor. A YouTube video claimed that Murphy testified in a federal trial against Sean Diddy Combs, blaming him for driving him out of Hollywood. The video gained massive attention before it was eventually debunked. Murphy never testified, and he never accused Diddy of influencing his career. Still, the fact that so many people believed it shows how quickly audiences connect the dots between powerful figures and the struggles of legendary performers.
Why haven't anybody came out defending Diddy? All these celebrity friends he have, and nobody came out.
They brand. It's all about the money. They saw what he did to Cassie. With the kicking, the punching. They saw what they did to Cassie. They know that nobody in America liked that. So now, these people are represented by a brand. Whether it's something about the music, clothing, movies. They're not gonna come out and speak on nothing that has anything to do with them, and they praying that they not on the tape doing crazy stuff, being oiled up in the whole 9 yards. They praying. So until the feds say, hey, yo, listen here. We got you on, hey buddy, we got you on this tape, and girl looked like she was pretty young. we're not gonna show it, but we need you to come and testify against Brother Love, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, you know, Sean Combs. That's when they're gonna start talking. And they're not gonna be talking in his favor. When the feds come to them and show them what they got on tape, because if he had 250 tapes all over, 250 cameras all over the house, somebody got caught stealing a cookie out the cookie jar. It could be your favorite pastor. It could be your favorite politician. But they didn't think they was being watched. And Brother Love was watching.
Yeah, I mean, TD Jakes, he haven't even came out and said anything. And him and Diddy was real cool.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, man. And I know the people in the congregation over there is shaking in their boots because this man didn't led them probably, allegedly probably led them to damnation because those people's hearts are gonna be broken if that man is seen on those tapes doing anything. Because people always put their faith in the pastor instead of putting their faith in God. And what they need to do is understand that he's just a man. And he has a history. It's not looking too good for him.
So you feel like celebs are worried that they might be on tape?
Oh, they know. That's why they ain't speaking up or saying nothing. Yeah, I was at a Diddy party, but I know I ain't do nothing. When you don't know somebody's taping you, when you don't know that somebody is videoing you in some kind of form or fashion, you got that alcohol, you got the in you, they're a little loose, bruh. They let down all their inhibitions. The music is pumping. He said it himself. He got it so hot in there that you gotta take your clothes off. He said that himself, bruh. So a lot of them, like what he said? I think a lot of them was being swallowed. Have you ever been swallowed? They tell off on themselves all the time, man.
Eddie Murphy himself has admitted that he stepped away from the spotlight for personal reasons, including raising his family and feeling burned out after years of nonstop work. But to many fans, the idea that even someone as iconic as Murphy could have been pushed aside by Hollywood did not feel far-fetched. That says a lot about how much mistrust surrounds the system. People have seen enough stars vanish under strange circumstances to suspect that the hand of blacklisting is always near. Whether or not Murphy ever faced true blacklisting, his name is now linked to the conversation. And when fans bring his story up alongside Matthew McConaughey's or Katt Williams, it highlights how widespread this belief really is.
I said before, he did the stuff to Ja Rule, you know what I'm saying? So had the ups on Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? So he always played those kind of up games on people. So to have those cameras and know what he was doing, it's gonna give him the ups on everybody who came to that party. Even your favorite basketball player. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. We know who said that. He may be one of the person who got caught up in the Diddy party.
LeBron said that, but yeah, you might be right. You know, it sounds like he had all them hidden cameras to use it against people.
I think that was said in the indictment, right? That was said in the indictment. You know, somebody, I think Dawn may have said that. I don't know for sure, and correct me if I'm wrong. He would, even if you didn't want to do something, he would tell the individual, well, I got you on tape doing it before. And the person would feel pressured in having to do something or come and do something at the party or be at the party because he already had him on tape right then and there. But what you think when you do it the second time? He's still gonna have you on tape. Those tapes is the one who's killing, because people don't understand this. Little Rod, he's taping for Diddy in some occasions. When he wrote his indictment up, when he wrote his, when his lawyer wrote up his briefs and submitted it, he must have had he must have been a prosecutor somewhere or something like that, because he wrote it up like it was an indictment. You understand? Saying all the stuff that had happened.
Few entertainers have been as outspoken about Hollywood's hidden rules as Katt Williams. Throughout his career, Williams has insisted that there are things the public never sees, including exploitation, secret deals, and pressure on stars to give up their authenticity in exchange for success. He has often said that when he speaks openly about these realities, the industry responds by shutting him out. Williams has pointed to sudden breaks in his career, lost opportunities, and the way media narratives often turn against him whenever he reveals too much. While some critics dismiss his claims as exaggeration, many of his fans believe him completely, especially when they see the pattern of other stars facing the same struggles. His story mirrors what Matthew McConaughey described. The punishment comes not in loud and public ways, but in silence. Opportunities vanish, calls stop coming, and careers stall. For Williams, the cost of speaking out has been high, yet he continues to use his platform to shed light on what others stay quiet about. In many ways, he is one of the most visible examples of Hollywood's attempt to silence those who will not follow the script.
Club Shay Shay, yeah. I was trying to do something there that hadn't been done. I thought that I had figured out the algorithm mathematically, and I thought that I could show that. And when I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs, so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else I know. So, yeah, I was...
Do you want to tell any of those stories now?
Well, I'm saying...
What makes Hollywood blacklisting so effective is its subtlety. There is no official announcement that an actor is finished. Instead, it shows up in the form of closed doors. For Matthew McConaughey, it was a 2-year silence. For Monique, it was phone calls never being returned. For Brendan Fraser, it was a decade of roles slipping away.
One of the biggest entertainers in the world is Tyler Perry. And Tyler Perry told a lie on me. And that lie cost me 12 years of my career. 12. And I know that you work for that man. But as I told you before, and I'm gonna say it again, until he fixes it, I will not stop, because that's how the monster is created. We're too afraid, we're too scared, we're too fearful that you're gonna take something from me. So I'm just not gonna say anything. Harvey Weinstein is where? He's in jail. Now that's been going on for decades. But everybody said, let it go. Don't say nothing, which allowed that man to do more damage to women over the decades. As long as I can help it, I'm saying, Tyler Perry, you will not do this to another, as long as I can help it, because you told a lie. And you feel like you have the God complex, so I ain't gotta fix it. Either you'll fix it in life, or you'll be dealt with in death. It's totally up to you, but I'm not going nowhere. Oprah, I'm not going anywhere until y'all take accountability and fix it. Y'all messed with my livelihood, which messes with my family. Never would I do that to anyone. So until they fix it, I won't back down.
Well, let me ask you, what does fixing it look like to you?
You see what Lee Daniels did?
Mm-hmm.
That man walked out on that stage publicly. See, you publicly shamed me. You publicly shamed me. So now you have to publicly fix it. Tyler Perry, you cost my family millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it is a beautiful thing when you tip somebody $3,000. It's a beautiful thing when you give somebody $400,000 because their house burned down. Those are good deeds. However, you know what you did to a black woman named Monique. So all of that, the universe is watching and saying, okay, we see what you're trying to do, but you can't fool us. And I don't believe I'm the only one. Of course not. You don't do that to somebody and it be your first time. You don't because you're too comfortable in doing it. And when you get that God complex, the universe is watching everything. Fixing it means you apologize publicly and you cost my family millions.
So it's you want to, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I just deciphering. You want a public apology and you want restitution.
Yes. And I say that unapologetically. You are on tape saying what you did to me was wrong. You are on tape. That's your voice, Tyler Perry. You called us. We didn't call you. You said what he did to me was wrong and he was going to fix it when his movie Boo came out. When did Boo come out? 2016. We are now in 2025 and you've not fixed that. You've not fixed it.
The punishment is quiet, but it is powerful. To the public, it might look like an actor simply chose to step back, or that their career naturally slowed down. But for those inside the industry, it feels much more deliberate. This quiet erasure allows Hollywood to maintain control without ever having to admit that a blacklist exists. The system can deny it, while the actors living through it know exactly what is happening. The danger of this silence is that it isolates the individual. Without official recognition, it is easy for outsiders to dismiss these struggles as bad luck or personal choice. That is why stories like McConaughey's are so important, because they show how even the most beloved stars can be targeted. What separates Matthew McConaughey from others who face blacklisting is that he eventually found a way to push through. During his career pause, he refused to compromise his values. Studios offered him millions for more romantic comedies, but he turned them all down. He risked everything, including financial security, because he wanted to redefine himself as a serious actor. It took years of waiting, but eventually the right scripts began to arrive. Films like Mud, Killer Joe, and especially Dallas Buyers Club proved that McConaughey was far more than the charming face of romantic comedies. His Oscar win became both a personal victory and a symbol of how resilience can sometimes break through Hollywood's silent punishment. His journey is often called the McConaissance, a rebirth of his career. But behind the glamour of that comeback was a long battle with the invisible forces that tried to keep him in a box. His story shows that while blacklisting can derail a career, patience and authenticity can sometimes create a second act.
When we think about the Hollywood blacklist, it tends to be portrayed as this one list that excluded actors and directors and producers and writers from Hollywood for the better part of the Red Scare. But in fact, there never was a list. Rather, there was just kind of an understanding among studios that there were certain people that couldn't be hired. There was a whole ecosystem of blacklisting, and then I guess you'd call it sort of de-blacklisting. There were organizations, companies like the American Business Consultants, who took it on themselves to do background research on actors and directors and writers, and to come out with reports. They published publicly available material that accused people of having communist ties, therefore putting pressure on studios not to employ these folks. When you ask, how could something this insane have lasted this long? It's because there were a lot of people who were making money off the blacklist.
The big question is why Hollywood blacklisting exists at all. The answer lies in control. The entertainment industry is built on gatekeepers, and those gatekeepers thrive on predictability. When an actor or comedian refuses to play by their rules, it threatens the system. By quietly sidelining outspoken stars, Hollywood sends a warning to everyone else. This is why stars like McConaughey, Katt Williams, Monique, and even Dave Chappelle have faced pushback. Chappelle famously walked away from a $100 million deal, and for years afterward, he was painted as unstable. His disappearance from the spotlight looked like his own choice, but many fans believe the industry was happy to let him vanish for a while.
The idea is, as you live your life, you're supposed to evolve and grow past your mistakes. If you get to be 55, and Puffy is 55, he doesn't look old, but this nigga's paying half prices of movies. But if you 55 and you got 1,000 bottles of baby oil in the house. Clearly. Can't stop, won't stop. Because I'm 51, and I'm telling you, this is true. I can't remember a single time I ever threw an empty bottle of baby oil in the trash. I don't think I've ever finished a bottle of baby oil in my life. If we went to my mother's house tonight, she probably got the same baby oil we had when I was a little boy with the pink top, and somehow Puffy was all the way down to the last. Crisco, we would have got away with it. But just been like, oh, he likes to cook. Thank God they caught him before those fires, because there'd been a goddamn mushroom cloud over his house. 1,000 bottles of baby oil in there.
Blacklisting is not always about talent. Often it is about obedience. The system works to maintain its own power by rewarding those who comply and punishing those who question it. That is why it continues to exist, even if no one admits it out loud. The effects of blacklisting go far beyond money or career status. For Matthew McConaughey, fame strained his family relationships. At the height of his career, he endured a long estrangement from his mother, showing how the pressure of Hollywood can spill into private life. For Brendan Fraser, the emotional toll was immense, leading to depression and a sense of invisibility. Monique has described how isolating it feels when the industry turns its back, leaving her to fight for recognition even after winning an Oscar.
I did all of my contractual obligations and I was done. Stop. Okay. Because contractual. Yes. When you make a movie, regardless of who you signed the deal with, yes, your job is to go and promote said movie. So when they wanted you to come, and we've had this conversation, and I said if you had called me, I could have schooled you on what was expected. So for 8 years, my family has suffered and my career has suffered because what I would not allow those entities to do was bully me. And because I didn't allow the bullying to happen, this is now what I sit in.
These stories remind us that blacklisting is not just a career move by Hollywood, but a deeply personal wound. It makes people question their worth, their future, and even their sanity. Yet, despite this cost, many continue to speak out because telling the truth feels more important than preserving comfort.
First of all, let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well, I watched all of my friends throughout my entire life be able to dunk a basketball, but not me. So everybody can't do everything. So, you know, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are gonna say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of dress-wearing people before him. So now we have Big Mama's house 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. I've never seen Madea in a pantsuit. I think she wears dresses. So now I'm saying, why are we picking on poor little Kevin Hart? Because it was his turn next. Okay. Some of us are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us. Yeah. But now, it's not necessary for us to store up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. I'm still not gonna join, but I respect it a little more.
right? How do you handle that? Because they put your name in the press with a lot of rumors and a lot of situations that they try to put on Katt Williams. Do you feel ever the need to, like, I gotta go defend this and put out a story about who I am, or do you just let that kind of like roll off your back when
Well, as you can see, I've let it all go for quite some time, and a lot of that is just based upon the fact that I don't really know how to complain because all of the people that I ever looked up to had to go through it too. So I know how much they talked about Martin Luther King, and I know what they end up doing to him. I know this same story about Jesus and a few of my uncles. So now I know that if your mouth is really, really big and you try to tell the truth for a living and you like to air people out, hatred is coming your way. I didn't know it was going to be this type of hatred, but you know, I'm concrete in all things because of He who strengthens me. So that doesn't mean I always make the right decisions, but I am gonna stand by what I stand for. And I'm only continuing to do it because I was looking for somebody who was doing it instead of me. And I just must have missed them, you know what I mean? So
while there may never be an official list of blacklisted stars, the pattern is clear. Matthew McConaughey faced it. Katt Williams still lives with it. Monique continues to fight against it. Brendan Fraser endured it for over a decade before his comeback. Eddie Murphy, while not officially blacklisted, has been tied to the conversation through rumors and speculation. Dave Chappelle faced it in his own way, and Tippi Hedren experienced it decades earlier. These are the names fans bring up again and again when talking about Hollywood's blacklist. Some have managed to rebuild their careers, some are still sidelined, and some may never fully return. But what unites them is courage. They chose authenticity over silence, even when the price was steep. Their stories reveal the darker side of Hollywood, one that audiences rarely see. And by sharing these stories, they ensure that the idea of the blacklist is no longer just a rumor, but a reality that people are beginning to understand. Matthew's story is more than a personal struggle. It connects to a larger reality in Hollywood, where silence is rewarded and resistance is punished. His career shows both the dangers of going against the grain and the rewards of staying true to yourself. And when we add in the experiences of others, like Katt Williams, Eddie Murphy, Monique, and Brendan Fraser, we see that blacklisting is not a myth. It is a quiet but powerful tool that continues to shape who rises and who falls in the entertainment industry. The truth is, Hollywood still decides who shines and who disappears. But more and more stars are starting to speak up, pulling back the curtain on a system that thrives in silence. Do you think more celebrities will risk exposing Hollywood's hidden blacklist, or will most continue to play by the rules to protect their careers? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.